This is Angelina. I'm one of your instructors for Project Management and Healthcare. I am your instructor for Project Management and Healthcare. I hope that you're getting along well in week 1. We just ended that and we're starting week 2. And I wanted to give you a quick little tip sheet or a help guide on how to format papers and make your life a little bit easier. This process will also work in your future classes to make formatting papers very streamlined. It'll help you earn the most points possible whenever you're looking at some of these assignments. Now, I'm sorry about my voice. I've had a cold, and it seems like every time I go to record one of these video sessions, I seem to have a cold, and I don't know what's going on. I have seasonal allergies, but that's my thing. All right, so what I'm going to have you do is you're going to start out at your syllabus, and I know that my view is going to look a little bit different than what yours does. So when you're looking at your syllabus, this is incredibly helpful as it will tell you exactly what you need to include in your written assignment. So on week 2, where we're at, we're going to be looking at case studies and we're going to be talking about the role of a project manager. And when you look at the top part here, it's going to be worth 80 points due October 5th. You're going to view your rubric, and this rubric will actually guide you to what you actually need to put in your assignment. Problem outlined in case study. So we're going to actually choose a problem in an associated case study. That's going to be found in, let's see, this AHRQ case study. So read that attachment. I'll also have it in my announcements. And then pick something out of that to write about. You're going to outline that in part of your paper. You're going to discuss the discussion of the project goals in your paper, and then you're going to segue into the role of a project manager in planning, role of a project manager in organizing, role of a project manager in budgeting, in monitoring progress, in managing reports and documentations, and role of a project manager in healthcare quality and safety initiatives. So as you can see, this is kind of rolling all up into one. So just move this over to the side so that it's a quick reference for you to see later. So open up a Word document, and the font that comes up and the font size of the Word document, you can keep it as is. APA 7 allows you to use Calibri, Georgia, Arial, Times New Roman if you like that. Back in APA 6, they used to like 12 font, but you can use 11 too. Either way is okay. So if you open up your document, leave it as is, you're going to be fine. So first thing to do is get into your header, double click at the top of your page, get into your header, and then use the right alignment, and we're going to insert some page numbers right here. So we moved our cursor over to the right. We're going to put page numbers in the current position right here and select the first one and see how that happened. We put some page numbers in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to double click out of this anywhere. Do you see where the cursor went to? We're going to go to home and we're going to center this right here. And then we're going to go up here to the 0.2 where it says the double arrows 2.0. That makes our paper double spaced, and we're going to press enter about 3 or 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to put the title of our paper, and we're going to put this in bold right there. So select bold, and I'm going to title my paper role of a project manager. Very genuine, right? Okay, so you're going to press enter 1 and 2, and let's type in your name. Your name goes here. Next, we're going to put the department where this is at. I don't know what department what area of study you're necessarily in. I don't want to assume it's nursing, Department of Nursing, but put whatever you have, Grand Canyon University. And then we're going to put in our course title. So it's HQS -620 Project Management and Healthcare. And then you're going to put in my name as the instructor. You can put Professor Angelina Mendeville, Instructor Angelina Mendeville, or just leave it as is. And then put in the due date when this assignment's due. 2022. There we go. We got our page done. And that's our title page. Next, we need to go into the next page, but instead of pressing enter a million times, we're going to go here to insert, page break. And do you see how the cursor moved automatically to the next part? We're going to end up repeating our title here. So put it in bold. I selected bold. Role of a project manager. And then unbold that, press enter. And now we're still centered. We want to go over here to align left. And then as you can see by this ruler, we're at 1 inch margins, so we don't have to do anything with those margins. And this is where we're actually going to start our assignment at. So tab over and start writing your introduction right here. Start writing your introductory paragraph here. The introductory paragraph should contain your thesis statement. Intro paragraph needs to house your thesis statement. The thesis statement tells the reader exactly what your paper is going to be about, and people can get incredibly creative with these thesis statements, but to be honest with you, don't spend a lot of time on it. Just get the job done. And what I mean by that is you can say, this paper will discuss, and then you go through the rubric. Problem XYZ, discussion of project goals, and the role of a project manager and relation to planning, organizing, budgeting, monitoring progress, managing reports and documentation, and healthcare quality, safety. There we go. See, all these little bits came off of my rubric, and I'm telling the reader this is what this paper is going to be directly about. This part is actually a separate thing to grade on. I'm going to pull this back over. I don't want you to get dizzy. This is our rubric. See, outline the case study, project goals, planning, organizing, budgeting. I got all those little bits from this rubric, but look right here. There's a separate section that I have to grade you on for just the thesis statement, and this is 5.6 points. If you forget to put one in there, I mean, that's minus 5.6 points off the start. There we go. So there's our thesis statement. So I'm going to put this in red so that you know that you need to get rid of that when you start to type. Let me fix my grammar. Okay. So now we're going to actually start to put our level 1 headers in there. So role of a project manager, we're going to put in the first header, problem outlined in case study. Now with these headers, they need to be centered and bold. And do you see how the capitalization is? The P, O, C, and S are capitalized there. And then again, don't get nauseous when I move these windows back and forth. But problem outlined in the case study, a description of the problem outlined in the case study is present and thorough. So this is where you have to pull out a case study. I'm going to minimize these from here. Purpose of this assignment is to determine the role of a project manager for a given case study. The AHRQ case studies is located up here. To complete the assignment, the case study is located in Chapter 8 of the textbook. Provide additional support. Select and read a case study from this document. Once you have read the case study in a 500 or 700 word paper, address the following. Describe the problem outlined in the case study. So that's the first part of this. We need to describe the problem outlined in the case study. So let's write ourselves a little note. Select. And that's what we're going to put in this little section right here. Okay, so that's that part. Where'd our rubric go to? We need to discuss project goals. So a discussion of the project goals is present and thorough. So let's see. We're gonna capital project goals. That's project here. There we go. And then this next section has a trend or a common theme going on. Role of the project manager, role of the project manager, role of the project manager. This is telling me we might benefit from using level 2 headers. So let's do that. So I'm going to put here project manager as the next header. I'm going to bold this. And press enter and over. And then I'm going to say brief description what a project manager is. And now we're going to go into our sections. Okay, what were our sections again? Planning, organizing, and budgeting. Okay. Let's hear about planning. Organizing. I don't want these to be bold. And I'm going to make these red. Okay, so what was the next one? Let me move this over so I can just continue to read. Okay, budgeting, monitoring progress. Managing reports and documentation. And the very last one, role of project manager in healthcare quality. And safety initiatives. PM stands for project manager, by the way. Plus role of project manager in healthcare quality and safety initiatives. There we go. So I'm going to go through and highlight these in red. There we go. And so after we get done with this final area, we're going to end up putting a conclusion in here. Center conclusion and bold it. APA 6 wanted this as a separate header, but APA 7 does not require it. However, you will not get marked off points if you end up putting a header in for conclusion. It's just another header. It's if you want to include it or not, or you can go from the last section right into your conclusion. It's up to you. So you write your little conclusion, and in the conclusion, don't forget to restate your thesis statement. Restate your thesis statement. This paper discussed X, Y. And then that's that part. But don't forget, we also need to do our references. Now, instead of, again, pressing enter 500,000 times to get to the next page, we're going to go up here to insert, page break, and we're going to put references on this top part. So we're going to center this, bold, and write in references. Make sure it's in black font. References. There you go. When you want to go do your hanging indent, well, you know what? I'm going to give you something on this one. In your announcement, you're going to have the case studies actually already done for formatting. I'm going to pull that over and give that directly to you. So that's how you would end up formatting it. But as you can see, it's not in double space. Let's put that in double space because we have to use the case studies. And I don't know why that's highlighted there. There we go. So I'm going to give this one to you. Whenever we need to do a hanging indent, we can highlight this and move this little tick mark right here. Do you see the triangle that's not upside down? We're going to just move that over 1/2 inch. And that's how we do a hanging indent. And so I'll give you your first reference since you have to use this as a document anyway. Case studies, retrieval date, when we actually got it off the internet and where we can find it. And then continue your references down below, but make sure you put them in alphabetical order. I think that's about it on this. So this has a tendency to be a long paper. Make sure you're only just sticking to the 500 and 700 words. These little areas down here about the planning, organizing, budgeting, just be brief when you're going in to talk about them. But that's how you're going to format your paper and use the rubric just like I did. Break it down, make the goals of the rubric your headers, and then that way you'll ensure that you hit everything every single time. I've used this through several master's degrees, different areas of study, and I've never hit it wrong with breaking down a rubric in this manner. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. I'll attach it as a template to this announcement that I'm getting ready to post, and half your work will be done. So make sure you're using this format on your future papers. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach back out to me. You can tag me in some of the messages, you can call me, you can text me, whatever is easiest for you. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoy. Thank you for listening.